Test, test, 1, 2. Looking good. How are you guys doing? Let me check a few things. If people hop on, we'll get going. Good day, Phil. Good day. I'm gonna upload something real quick and see if that kills me. Here we go. Make this private. Alright, this may take a minute to populate, but we'll get it going soon. Anyway. Works. Cool. Let me add this into the mix.
All right, let's check.
Alright, let's get going. TV stream. Alright. Oh, hold on. Nope, we're good. Alright, dudes. Welcome to the weekly Whale Watch stream. We're back this week. It's your dude Runner. I'm going to be covering all the worst things about the market, all some of the good things, covering some AI vibes, some jokes, some memes, what's some of the bigger news in the markets, as well as what's been popping up on Twitter. Checking on the vibes of the guys, see how you guys are doing. Just live streaming on YouTube today, not feeling like messing with the Twitter stuff. They start acting a little different, maybe I'll come back to it, but right now, not so crazy about it. Give me 1 second. Anyway, but yeah, welcome to the stream. We're going to cover this stuff for about an hour. Then we're going to go head over to the Rainbow Trends Discord community. That's where the OGs come in, hang out all night. We share charts, we share Toyota picks, you know, you name it. We ask questions, we try to give answers and go from there. But if you're curious what on earth any of this stuff looks like, it's Rainbow Trends. It is over 10,000 lines of code that was created before vibe coding existed. So F me, right? Because that would have been way easier to maybe push through this because it took me forever because I'm engineer, not a coder. But anyway, if you have any questions, check it out. If you don't take my word for it, go check out our OGs. Hit these dudes up. Love our fam from around the world who's helped us out. I think we're like in over 20 countries. But per the usual, the stream is not intended to be used as financial advice. It's meant to be used for educational purposes only. And we'll get going. But we have some interesting, I don't know how to introduce this personally. Let me turn the audio up. So we have a Rainbow Trends OG with us named Cash Biscuit in the Discord, and he's notorious for jumping off stuff. And I was like, yo, before you jump off something, can you check a chart one time and maybe we'll turn it into a Rainbow Trends ad? So he sent me this today. I'm going to try to edit it up and turn it into something cool. But just for you guys to fully know, my clients are literally jumping off canyons right now. So, dude, check this out. It's crazy.
All right, let's check Rainbow Trends. Oh, well, here we go.
Check in.
sick. This takes the cake for user submitted videos. That's all I'm gonna say.
All right.
Cash Biscuit is an OG. And what's funny, it's not funny, but it's sometimes we won't hear from him for like a week or two, and then he'll pop up, and I'm like, oh, thank God he's alive, because this isn't the safest stuff.
Jeez.
So I always play this. We always play this like, man, the guys in the Discord haven't heard from Cash Biscuit in a few weeks.
Jesus, Tony. You don't think,
Shut up. God forbid. God forbid. Don't talk like that.
Haven't heard from Cash Biscuit in a while. God forbid. God forbid. Don't talk like that. So anyway, big news. We'll get to some serious stuff. We'll actually get into the content, right? It's what you guys are here for, not for the vibes. Albeit, I think we're here for the vibes, to be honest with you guys. But let me get the audio. That's way too hot. All right. So, I gotta get this a little quieter in my ear. Been playing music for so long during these streams, I literally cannot do this without something in my ear. I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, check this out, dudes. Resident Evil dropped a new trailer, and it actually looks pretty interesting, and it doesn't look like it's tied to like the whole Leon story, Raccoon City. It's pretty cool. Be an interesting take. It looks pretty freaky, and I'm all for seeing something interesting, right? It's a Resident Evil movie that doesn't seem like it's about Resident Evil so much per se. Maybe it's not really Resident Evil like Umbrella Corporation story that we've already seen 50 movies about. It actually seems like a fresh take, and I don't get too excited about movies anymore, but that one I'm actually getting pretty interested in. So, anyway. Oh, Scoble's listening to some biz sessions. Anyway, moving on. Current state of the market, Crypto Cred dropped this, and I think it really hits a lot of the sentiment that is in the market these days. And I wanted to cover it because there's been a lot of like my shift in vibes as I've well, let me read this first, then we'll come back to it. But market cap is, because crypto's current state is a bit shit. Market cap is not an indicator of quality. Top 50 is made up of ghost coins or bloated governance slop that is underperformed and is uninvestable. The long tail speculative stuff, we went from high risk reward to some dude in Miami is going to zero. This is if you hold it for more than 5.9 seconds. Number 3, everything is extremely correlated and you can't meaningfully make bets based on sectors as it converges into tightly correlated mush, especially to the downside. Number 4, broad brush alt season is an artifact of the past. It's been siphoned off into bundle max PBP settings. Crypto reputation is no longer the sexy frontier of speculation. Institutional bid is in AI. That couldn't be any more true. Retail speculative bid is in ODT equities, single name stocks, etc. Convexity is flattened. The obvious rebuttal, I'll skip some of this, but the obvious rebuttal is the cycles, but even the past cycle is a useful counterpoint. It is extremely concentrated versus broad brush wealth effect, plus something very obviously broken after 1010. So what does this all mean? In previous cycles, nailing timings was enough and selection was the cherry on top. Rising tide lifts all boats. I don't think that holds. Both timing and speculation matter now and the future. Number 2, participation alone can be an edge if the asset class is early enough and is mispriced enough. I don't think that holds either, and we might actually have to learn how to trade F. Hopefully I'm an idiot. Doom posting the bottom. Good morning. Now, this is a general sentiment that I've been dealing with as well. As of the past few months, I've been head first into some agentic coding that has been a hell of a rabbit hole. But one of the things that I really wanted to post up is something definitely is broke on 1010, and we haven't seen it fixed yet. That was a fantastic bot trading day. I had some bots that bought a absolute plethora of stuff as it blew out the reversion bands while I was camping. Came back and was very happy, and got a shit ton of text messages and DMs from friends like, dude, I hope you're okay. And I was like, what? And then had to quickly log into some exchanges to see what the F happened. But in general, though, I do think something bad has happened. I think Binance may or may not have taken some hits. I don't know. Can't confirm. Just speculating. But a lot of people got burned, and we never really heard what the real story was behind it. We probably won't for another 3 years, but in general, the market has seemed weird. We haven't got any alt season runs on anything. Everything runs for like just a day or two, and then it dies off. I haven't seen any trends of anything drive for a very long time. So you've seen me like get kind of boring with the crypto charts. I don't post as much. I mainly just watch high time frame Bitcoin and Ethereum, which I currently like the charts currently. Hashtag pro streamer. But in general, though, I'm mainly just watching those. I'm not interested in the smaller altcoins. I don't think anything has any sustain. Frankly, a lot of the AI, DDR charts, tech charts, I've been doing way better than that, even than when we were like hopping around with crazy alt seasons in the shitcoin markets. I think it'll come back eventually, but right now it's I have a hard time holding anything with conviction other than just like Bitcoin and Ethereum. And even then, Ethereum's kind of waning on me. But, I digress. Let's move forward. Maybe we should be trading Trump coin. The last thing you see before becoming exit liquidity. So, yeah. Great stuff. Yeah. Just trust all around. But let's check the Trump charts. It's looking not so good. Down only. As expected. Trump meme coins not doing so hot. But we're down at $2.40. Guys, I don't even remember what the high was on this, but let's check. Wasn't it like $20 at one point? No, way above. It was like $60 when they launched it. So good lord. What is that pullback so far? 97%. Wow. Awesome. I'm not going to spend much time on it. It's clearly a joke. But the one thing is Justin Sun did dump his entire 3% holding of the meme coin Trump. Something to speculate here. This dude's one of the titans of crypto. I don't think you're ever taking this dude down. I think in general he's probably one of the better guys in the whole bunch of people that is crypto. But something very bad is happening between Trump and Justin Sun. They're beefing pretty bad right now. He dumped that. One of the very big investors in World Liberty Finance and Tron as well. Checking in on the Trump Jr.'s coins. World Liberty Financial looking fantastic, guys. White candle after white candle after bounce. Now, frankly, if you're a rainbow trader and you really want to mess with this, dude, you got to wait for crazy rotations and see these white candles stop printing. And then even when you do, don't catch feelings. Just get your little scalps out of that. These bounces are pretty substantial, but you're still playing with fire. Am I long-term bullish on World Liberty Financial? No, I'm not. Because remember, this is an art show. So, I mean, honestly, that's a Mally 12 on white candles. I can't bring myself to mess with it, guys. I'm sorry. Moving on. So yeah, Eric Trump getting beefy with it. The only thing more ridiculous than a lawsuit is spending $6 million on a banana duct tape to a wall. We are incredibly proud of the World Liberty Financials team. If you guys don't know, Justin Sun's actually taking them to court. And shocker, odd things are happening in the market in somewhat parallel to that. Intel, Tether has frozen $344 million of USDT on Tron and its largest asset to date. Reason undisclosed. I have a theory. It could be Justin and Justin Suntron beef. So we'll see. That sucks. Yeah, so just, awesome use of stable coins. The fact that they can be confiscated, just great. Hey, what's up, Fletch? How are you? Dude, Phil, I don't know. I mean, there's so many crazy people. Who knows, dude? And I'm definitely not looking to get my stream permabanned again, so I'm not gonna say some of those words. But you can read the chat, dudes. I am of the opinion, don't ever do anything like that, regardless of who you don't like. You don't do that. People got kids, bro. Even if you hate them, their mom loves them usually. Anyway, Tron, though, definitely printing different signs here than World Liberty Financial. So keep that in mind. Yeah, Phil, if you don't know, I was talking about like the Russia war way back in the day on Twitch, when it popped off, and I got permabanned. No warnings, nothing. And they said, yo, this is a permanent ban, unreversible. And like, I emailed them and stuff, and I was like, yo. And I had to have some friends reach out and be like, yo, there's nothing, like, not a controversial dude at all. What the hell? And they actually reversed the permaban, but, you know, it's real useful because I don't really stream on Twitch anymore, but whatever. It's cool. But there's Tron. But back to kind of what, what's his name was saying, I forgot, Cred. He's right. The top 50, it's like a bunch of the same ghost coins that people haven't messed with in forever. Litecoin, still a top 21. Great developments on that. Avalanche, Zcash, Chainlink, obviously. I've got to ask, guys, why does Chainlink spin and none of the others do? Don't. Solana moves, Chainlink moves. Is that because you pay extra on CoinMarketCap? Is that a premium thing to get listed with an animation? Hold on. I don't... OKB's doing it. Please tell me. Guys, does anybody know in the chat, or can someone check Grok or something? Surely Filecoin is... Filecoin's in the top 70. How is that possible? It beats VeChain. Pump Fund is 75. Trump Token 77. It's amazing, guys. Terra Luna Classic is top 100. Oh, say, please come back. 94. Pepe's up there. We got Ethereum. Gosh, you got Bitcoin at 1.5 trillion. Ethereum's nowhere near a trillion. XRP is somehow above Solana. Oh, man. Anyway, if you guys can, like, comment, subscribe. Dropping stuff in the content box really wakes up the algo. You guys are good dudes anyway, so I appreciate the chat anyway. Strategy, though. MicroStrategies is still alive and well. They're closing in on the million Bitcoin holdings, which is interesting. But yeah, they own 818,000 Bitcoin, and their currently DCA is 75K, which is just fantastic. Mind you guys, everyone said, oh, get Sailor liquidated. We did get Sailor below his DCA this year, or was it last year? He's still standing. Told you guys, you can't really liquidate that guy. It's in his metrics of how the system is set up. He can back up and keep strategy afloat. It may or may not involve selling the office furniture and the copper wiring in their buildings, but they keep afloat. But if you look at this fantastic thing, I don't know why I have that there. I think it was there. But MicroStrategies has just been straight down. The second highest high was in July. Lower high in October, and then we've just been kaput since. But the high, we went from $460 all the way to $104 with a 78% thing. Man, it has bottomed in the past when Bitcoin bottomed. Maybe. I'm not super bullish on this dude. I like what he's about, but he's a goofy dude and just is what it is. Anyway, Moving on. Bitcoin, though, I actually like the Bitcoin chart. Everyone's bored as hell, and that's just how this stuff happens. But to be honest, guys, we went from actual white candles printing a 60,000 print all the way back up to like almost 80,000. Now, your Wyckoff tingly should be tingling, right? It's a hard chart. I'm not going to lie. Let me switch to sun. Let me get rid of the Mally. Sorry, Mally. We're turning the Mally pivots off. Malifestro has had a crazy week. If you actually go check the Discord, he posted ungodly P&L today of his recent trading on the stock market. May or may not be using rainbow candles, bros. All I'm saying. He's a real OG. But since we've been messing with this range, we've been calling it out. The target is 77K order block. We've now hit it like 3 or 4 times. We now have the channel walker coming up to show support, and we're interacting with it, and we're trying to move back up. But guys, we're about to have Jerome Powell walk out. We've got the war in the Middle East going crazy. We've got the high tides of Strait of Hormuz and the low tides. It's all crazy. But no, the war stuff with Iran is really throwing all this in a loop. The S&P keeps trucking. Is what it is. But what I'm saying is this is set up like a rainbow reversal. It really is. And we've been calling it out for a while. Like, yo, there's your kind of your death wick, your reaction, your piggyback, and then it starts to form like an accumulation range. And then we have the OG order blocks here. 2021 all-time high, 2024 all-time high. These are major order blocks. Major. People are ignoring these because they're not looking back far enough, because you have to go way back. Way back. But these order blocks mattered. We spent forever trying to get through these damn things, and then we finally did, and now we're interacting with them. And again, and to be honest, we're on the upside. So we can cry all we want. Maybe we're not getting alt season. Maybe everything's a scam. But the OG Bitcoin that did it best and is still the best is moving forward. Now, to be honest, that was our target. We've hit it. It could totally roll over from here. We call it happy. Bear market continues on for the next 2 years. I don't know. But I can say this is where we go from here, way up. If we can reclaim this and make this the new floor, if, right? That's the big thing. To get here was really, really hard. To get above it and hold it is way harder, right? So if this doesn't work, Bitcoin's going to pull a cash biscuit and jump off and fall back down and then parachute land, right? But you guys really want to talk like the crazy bull case, and let me tell you about the 10 reasons why you're going to be a millionaire right now. I don't think you could draw this as a intermediate order block here. You can't. Well, let's do it. We'll just call it an orangey or orange one. Mid-range. It's definitely going to interact with it, but I think the level is like the actual target the whales would go for is honestly the 90s. We're not talking 100, we're talking like low 90s. That's if this breaks. And we're talking about a potential move to get there. It's like 15%. It's not that much, but the market has to not be absolutely scared of crypto and muting crypto all over Twitter, right? That's kind of the difference. But anyway, let me know what your thoughts are in the chat. Thanks for all the dudes calling in. We've got the OGs here hanging out. We got 7 people live in the chat. I question myself, why do I even do this? But I got to keep fresh. I got to keep going. I feel like I owe it to explain some of this rainbow madness that is rainbow trends. But we talk in the bear markets. We talk in the bull markets. We'll keep it trucking. But anyway, moving on. Another thing, Walter Bloomberg, DITA 1. He used to trick this and make it look like Delta 1, but it was an I, not an L. And then once like Elon got on, he fixed it to where the capital I looks right. Because I would type in Delta 1 and I could never find his stuff. I was like, what is going on? Anyway, I digress. That's why we're here, right? For the alpha. But yeah, apparently Bitcoin short surge as market braces for big move. Despite Bitcoin's recent rally, investors are increasing bets its price will fall. So just as the markets are betting of poly market of regime overthrows, we're also betting on Bitcoin going down. But to be honest, the chart it's not death right now. It actually looks pretty decent. So if you guys did notice, last week was a pretty big week for the ETF option flows. So your ETF option flows, I really like this website, Farside Investors. They do the ETF flows. There's actually a Solana one, but no one really cares. These were actually pretty solid numbers coming in last week, and we've had some selling this week. But in general, man, the flows, just I kind of keep an eye on them. Don't do too much with the data, but it is what it is. That being said, our sailor brother from another mother, Tom Lee, continues to keep buying Ethereum and staking it. This is the anti-Ethereum Foundation. He buys Ethereum and stakes it instead of selling it. So, Ethereum chart, guys, it's kind of like the Bitcoin chart, but it's rolling over a little bit harder. It's not looking as good, but that type of pattern could easily reverse mid-range. It's too hard to tell. It's in la-la land. It's not doing much, but one thing I want to point out here is these vertical symbols are the Mali pivots tool. These are what I would call back in the day like the Mali 25s. It's when they pass the counts that Mali likes. I flag them when the extended runs stop, regardless if they go past like whatever, 13, 15s, whatever. Doesn't work every time. It works 60% of the time, right? But if you notice, these reds are hitting at pretty key points. So keep an eye on this. Not a lot of people use it. Shame on them. But your extended toggles is what those are. Those are the verticals, right? And if I just show the reds, I turn everything else off. Bloop. Those red signals are pretty fire, dudes. Not gonna lie. Bam, 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 bam. Not perfect, but it's pretty interesting tool. But anyway, that's Ethereum. Ethereum may come back and retest the 2200, but it's I'm not super scared of it, but I will say in general that type of pattern, no me gusta. No me gusta. I don't like that curl with the drives into lower drive, lower drive, lower drive. Not a fan of that, but the Bitcoin chart looks better, so I'm not as worried because I don't think Ethereum's going to like yank it down right now. But anyway, the people keep coming into the chat. We're up to 8 people now. Thank you guys for coming in. We're recording this live. We'll clip it later. Now, shout out Nikita, head of product at Twitter. Thank you so much for adding the snooze button, the #1 most snooze thing. Crypto, politics, Iran conflict, sports, business and finance, gaming, video, science, and entertainment and sports. So we made it, guys. Crypto's #1. #1 muted. We're here. I digress. I'm really not a big fan of the complete change of Twitter. It's not my most favorite thing anymore. It used to be. But in general, they've really changed a lot of how the back end works. My biggest thing, you would earn followers, right, over time. And you learn to love your followers and like learn about them and stuff, and you follow them back and you want to see like about their daily lives and what they're posting about. Zach Val posted this, and I couldn't agree more. He goes, sometimes I'll think of a mutual I haven't seen post in a while, go to their profile, and they've been posting every day. I want to be able to unsnooze my friends. I can literally follow my follow page, following only, not the For You page. I don't see the people I'm following. Like, I love 52K Skew to death. We've had him on the show. We've interviewed him. Love his insight. It is impossible for him to get on my front page. Impossible. The algo will not happen. And I just can't figure it out. But honestly, this is the same thing that happens to me. Is I think, man, my mutuals must be like the guy I was thinking about. Man, he must be like in some rough shape. Haven't posted forever. And I go check his Twitter. Same thing. He's been posting daily for months. Never heard about it or seen about it. But I'll get like a million other random videos of something about just crazy politics. So I hope they try to quit making the AI stuff dictate the homepage. It was beautiful how you got to use like stay in your networks before. But I digress. The U.S. Army is considering taking control of section of the Strait of Hormuz to restore passage. So I guess the Army's getting involved on top of the Navy. Couldn't be more bullish, right, for oil. And then on top of that, the United Arab Emirates, the The United Arab Emirates says it quits OPEC, and OPEC statement. UAE says it will leave OPEC as of May 1st. So is that tomorrow? Should be. Yeah, tomorrow. So they're leaving Friday. Actually a pretty big news event, to be honest with you guys. If you guys aren't really aware, the Hormuz stuff is still throwing down like crazy. If you guys aren't aware, oil tankers are very, very susceptible to small, fast boats that tend to shoot stuff at them. And they go boom, boom, and the entire energy markets go crazy. Something I don't think the current administration really understood or figured out, that some homies in a panga can cause really, really big chaos, and if you piss them off long enough, they'll keep running pangas out or whatever speedboats and knocking stuff over. And that messes with the world, because you throw oil up. Remember, dude, oil was what, $60 a barrel for the longest time? 50 to 60. And bloop, bloop, instant up, right? Albeit there was the whole thing in South America where they overthrew another government and they started throwing down on Iran. Politics aside, I look at oil prices because this really affects the entire market. You can't just send this to $200 and expect the world to do well when people can't afford gas. So, or if jet fuel disappears. So that's going to be a problem. But either way, this is going much longer than expected. And remember, we're the third year of the Ukraine war, maybe fourth. I can't keep track of it anymore. But Russia thought that was going to take 3 days, so it is what it is. Moving on, nvidia finally broke out and started moving up. You actually go back and look at their chart. Yeah, they swung high. They swung through a TP pivot, or a Rainbow Trends pivot order block. Nothing crazy. I still love NVIDIA products. If you guys can hear the whirring behind me, it's a pair of 3090s screaming right now doing some AI stuff. But with the green, we've got to look at the MacBook side, right? So your dude here cannot stand Mac. My wife has one. She has to have me help her with it. It drives me nuts. I literally just ask Grok, how do you do these things? Because it's making no sense to me. It just does some of the quirkiest stuff ever, and it just drives me nuts. But I'm still telling you guys, I want a Neo so damn bad now. I know they're out of the A18 Pro chips that they had binned with the one faulty GPU, and they're actually saying they've sold out, and like they have no more bin chips left because they weren't expecting this laptop to do so well. And that apparently the Neo 2 is coming out sooner than expected. They're having to front run it, and they're going to use the A19 chip, which will be a little faster. But still, 16 hours on a single charge using an iPhone chip, and the damn thing can edit 4K video. Dude, I want one. My daughter's getting into like Tinkercad and math and 3D printing and stuff like that, and believe it or not, her old ThinkPad isn't doing so hot. So I'm actually considering doing this for her. And also the one that has the bigger hard drive has the Touch ID. I've got mischievous kids who hop on and look at the most ungodly dumb stuff on YouTube. I kind of like the idea of the one that they have to come to me and put my fingerprint on it and sync it to my fingerprint to unlock it. So I'm actually considering this one, but let me know what color you think is best. This one I like. This one is the one a lot of people like, but the thing is man, look at that right there. It's got yellow keys. I'm not feeling it. Long story short, though, this was a huge success. Clearly, these were way better than anybody expected. If you guys don't remember the whole OpenClaw craze, Macs have been sold out from a lot of people everywhere, right? These Mac Minis. And then the people figured out, oh, Mac Minis can't really do AI that well. You need to get like the Mac Studio. Well, you need to get the one with the big intelligence, right? Okay, that was sick. Hold on. You zoom in. Transition. Hit it. There it goes. 1, 2, 3. That is cool. Supercharged by the M4. These aren't even M5 yet. These are way behind the laptops, but you can get the 256 unified memory if they haven't canceled it yet or discontinued it. I heard they don't do it anymore. or you can't. They're sold out and they're not. You can't even order them. But regardless, if you guys really want to do AI, you need with Mac, you need like the 64 or the 128 or the 256 gigabyte memory. You can't really do too much with the lower memory ones, in my opinion. But dude, by the time you stick 256 gigs of RAM in this, it's like a $10,000 freaking MacBook or Mac, and I'm just like, man, that ain't where it's at. Let's get you some 5090s. But either way, Apple Chart, it's like, man, all these Mac Minis everywhere, people doing OpenClaw on them, and people buying studios and flexing like entire companies on their desk. I've got 80 MacBook Minis. I'm a CEO. Da da da. But they don't show a single freaking product. I'm like, how is Apple not up only? Well, boys, did earnings hit today after hours? And check this out. Bam, bam, bam. It's after hours, so you only get a little bit of data. The market's print weird, but that bad boy shot up, and that bad boy shot up hard. So shout out Tim Cook, who's leaving. Shout out on the 5% swing on one of the biggest stocks in the world. Pretty cool. Still below that order block, but dude, you tell me order blocks don't matter, I will call you a liar. Why? Because I didn't think they were real until we built this, and then lo and behold, almost to the penny, order block held. Bam, bam. Probably revisit tomorrow. We'll see. But bullish overall, dudes. The M5 launch went well. Overall, the Neo went really, really well. And then or the Nexus or Neo, I forgot what it's called. Shout out Nexus Blade Runner if you're here. Shout out Nexus. Albeit Nexus is hockeyed up right now. He may not be in the call. But anyway, moving on. We're 37-minute mark. Glad you guys are here. Moving on. I used to be a Windows Maxi. Now I'm doing a shit ton of Linux with the AI stuff. And Neo might get me, bros. Especially Esk's wife got one, and they really like it. I'm just like, ugh. But then the other problem is it's like $600 for a Neo. Do I just buy a used like M3 for the same price? Like, the M3's got a lot more horsepower. So anyway, or even an old M1. Although it is a little faster than an M1 on the single core. Side note, if you guys don't know how they do it, like they take that A18 chip and then they have an ungodly high boost clock for single thread performance. Runner, what the hell does that mean? They slightly overclock the living shit out of that chip for a little second, for just it can only hold it for a few seconds. Mind you, that computer has no cooling fan in it or even a heatsink on the damn chip. It goes to an uncrazy clock speed, and so when you click like an app to open it, for a few seconds, it'll open up Safari or it'll open up Adobe, whatever, really, really fast. And then once it's back, it starts loading. It'll cool it, it'll clock back down, and then go about its business. But that slight boost makes it feel like snappy and doesn't feel slow to the human. So it's not necessarily a trick. It's just like they intentionally overclock and boost to crazy gigahertz levels so it feels fast to you. And to be honest, if it feels fast to you, it is fast. So anyway, moving on. So our favorite cat with a trench coat, hazmat suit CL207, is apparently logged Fartcoin. So I had the opportunity to bring up my favorite cat as well as bring up Fartcoin. So let's check out the Fartcoin chart. We got to, guys, right? We got to. The chart looks decent. I just can't get over the name. I'm not a fan of this type of stuff, but I digress. It is what it is. Anyway, let me see. Hold on. Phil's saying seeding season is starting. Let's see how fertilizers and crop go. Yeah. That's always something, especially they're talking about the big Nino event stuff. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys, especially with the big, apparently the UFO disclosure Trump ordered, which, I'm sure it's going to expose all the Epstein people in the Area 51. I've always liked UFO lore. Like I said, I'm a mechanical engineer, so it fascinates me, this stuff. I originally started out as a physics major, so like this stuff really is up my alley. a lot of the stuff Bob Lazar's talked about for years has been wild. Even if you don't believe him, it's real interesting to just the physics he describes, how these things worked, because it really wasn't part of like UFO lore way back in the day. It was really like confusing what he would describe. They dropped a new movie called The Bob Lazar Story, S4. You can get it on Amazon. You can rent it or buy it. I bought it, and it's fantastic. They spent 3 years remodeling the entire S4 facility from Bob Lazar, and then they de-aged him and put it in it, and then they had him like walk around it in VR, and he like recreated everything down to like, here's the 1980s halogen light we used, here's this tool, blah 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 blah, and like they fully recreated it to the best they could. And then you actually get to see like the sport model UFO that he got to work in allegedly. Maybe the disclosure will say it's real, but long story short, if you're a conspiracy theory dudes, it's worth it. I think it's pretty cool. It's a really cool documentary, so I'm probably gonna go rewatch it at some point. But it's pretty cool just to see how like a really crazy scientist engineer is looking at alien technology and trying to reverse engineer it. So it's cool. Anyway, moving on. So speaking of UFOs, let's check out Northrop Grumman Corporation. Looking like a clear buy going into that UFO release, which is apparently underway right now. If you guys don't know, the aliens.gov URL is like getting worked on right now, and it looks like it's about to go live. So people are all going crazy about that one. But it's pretty cool. If you guys don't know, these guys are third-party contractors that help a lot with space exploration, NASA and stuff, and is allegedly tied up with a lot of the UFO stuff. So I got to check it because that's the most UFO one I could get right there, unless you guys want to talk like Lockheed Martin and Boeing, stuff like that. But anyway, our king has retired. Jerome Powell will deliver his last FOMC press conference. That was this week. Surprise, surprise, though. He may stay around. He's offered, and I don't know. I don't think Trump wants that. But his last FOMC was this week, and his official last day per the contracts is May 18th. So 3 weeks from now or so. About 3 weeks, his official last day. Now, mind you, they're trying to nominate someone to go into that role, right? Trump doesn't have anybody nominated right now. Frankly, Trump's approval ratings with this whole war stuff that's been popping off are down. So getting someone through on a vote is going to be even harder. So he might not get it in all reality. And it's going to be really interesting to see what happens, because if they don't nominate anybody, Jerome has offered to stay on board until they get someone voted through, which I think is hilarious. I just think that's fantastic, because if he just stays on, it'll be awesome. But anyway, short story. This is the chart that keeps giving. We just keep buying these things when it drops off, and it's just I keep adding 401k funds here. My big entries here, I think, are up over 30% at this point, and I think I'm hold on. I made a second big entry somewhere around here. I bought this big dip here heavy. And then I told myself, we should get above like 6,200. I'm going to just have to chase it and just layer into it. And I layered into it. And I think that second layer, which is rather large, is up around 10%. And then this entry is up like 30. So doing very, very happy with those things. I keep it real simple with 401k stuff. I mainly just mess with the S&P. But I will add heavily on this stuff when we do get the dip opportunities, because we don't get them often, but hell, they have hit so hard and done so well. It's super boring because you have to wait so long to get 30%, but it's not like I'm exposing my 401k to like Fartcoin stuff. So anyway, but while you guys are here, obviously for the art stream, some of the AI stuff, you guys got to see this. So apparently, inside the new GPT 5.5 system, there's a prompt for the AI model that says, never talk about goblins, gremlins, raccoons, trolls or ogres, pigeons, or other animals or creatures unless it is absolutely and unambiguously relevant to the user's query. So apparently, like, raccoon is goblin mode inside this GPT, and it has issues with it, and it's just... People have been making all types of jokes about how GPT really runs its servers, and it shows a bunch of like goblins running around actually operating the cloud servers. So, yeah, cool stuff. Anyway, moving on. Another one with the AI stuff this week. Claude-powered coding agent reportedly deleted a company's production database and backup in 9 seconds. And it reminds me of this episode where they had the same issue where the AI identified the bug was in the code base, so it just deleted the code base entirely. And here you go. To get rid of all the bugs was to get rid of all the software, which is technically and statistically correct. So yeah, we're getting there. And then someone actually wrote a full article on it. So an AI agent just destroyed our production data. It confessed in writing. So go read this stuff. I just had a Claude session freak the F out, and I lost a bunch of work on the tail end of a big project. So I'm actually trying to recover that right now. But take notes. Create backups, dudes. Always worst case, even with your crypto and as well as your AI stuff, assume your house burns down and you can't grab your laptops and your computers. So keep your backups somewhere, physically, digitally, whatever. But keep them separate. Also assume hacks, so multiple clouds is good too. But yeah, anyway, moving on. Another thing I wanted to show you guys is the 3090s continue to be my number one pick for if you guys want to mess with any AI locally and not deal with clouds. Particularly the Quinn stuff, 27Bs on the 3090s. Go read this. This is from Sheng Huang. I don't know how to say his last name. But it covers how you can actually port the 27B model directly into this and get it running on a Llama server. And how to quantize the model, how to quantize your cache, everything, and get it to fit directly on that 24 gigabytes and not offload anything to your CPU or your CPU's RAM. You want that pure bad boy on the video card entirely. And I'm getting the same numbers. You can get roughly 37 tokens per second nonstop. And you can do some serious damage on this. This setup on a single 3090 is as smart as Opus 4.5, but you can run it indefinitely. No token limits. You can run it forever. Just your room's going to get hot. As I'm sitting here in my office, which is getting smoky hot right now with the 3090s and the 5060s behind me crunching. But anyway, like I said, 3090s is still my favorite recommendation. If you have to get something new, try to grab a 5090 or maybe a 5060 Ti, but you're not going to be able to get the 27Bs on those 5060s very well. And by the time you buy two 5060 Ti's, you're sniffing at the price range almost of a 3090, which, spoiler alert, dual 5060 Ti's is slower than a single 3090. So keep that in mind. Stack your 3090s. And take a look at the blower editions. They've been mined to shit, but if you get a good one and you don't try to stress it out too bad, it's actually, these are 2 slot wines, and you can stack them next to each other inside a normal computer, assuming you've got a power supply that can hang, because that's a pretty big power load, and takes a lot of connectors. Albeit, these are normally 2 connectors a pop instead of 3. And also, mind you, the blower fans are loud compared to a normal 3090. So whatever you build is going to be pretty loud, and it's going to be real toasty. No matter what you do, you're probably going to run these 250, 300 watts power limited each. 300 watts times 2 is basically a space heater, like an actual electric wall space heater. It's like running a hairdryer on low. Unless you got like 3 or 4 of them, then it's like running a hairdryer on high. And then if you do that for 24 hours straight, your room is going to get smoky hot. So anyway, I digress. Thank you guys all for coming out to the stream. We're going to head to the Rainbow Trends Discord for the rest of the night. Please click like, comment, drop a comment in the chat, say goodbye, whatever. YouTube picks it up. But we're going to go head over to the Rainbow Trends Discord. Discord link is in the top as always. No paywalls in that Discord. So come hang out with us, ask your questions. We're going to talk gaming, surfing, whatever, AI. We're down. But I'll see you guys there in probably about 5